and so on and so forth.
So, James, this is cutting-edge technology we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Ken, you are board of directors?
Yes, I'm on the board and actually the chairman of the board. And to me, the defining moment occurred about 2.5 years ago when I happened to be in the office one day, and we had just completed a prototype house out in Chino Valley. And the heating and air conditioning contractor was there with a representative from one of the big heating and air conditioning. I think it was Train. Yeah, Train heating guy out of Indiana, Illinois.
Difficult to stop a train.
Anyway, yeah. And they had just tested the house to see how big of a heating and air conditioning unit was going to be needed. And the first thing they ran into is when they measured the insulation value of the whole wall. It's called the whole wall R value, which takes into account what are you losing through the cracks in the windows and the doors and everything. The ratings were so high that it was off of his chart to estimate, and he had to call home office back in Indiana or wherever, and have them, or Dallas, and have them reprogram his little calculating software so that he could put those higher R values in. And when he did so, and they calculated, he's standing right there a few feet from me, he said, normally a house this size would require about 120,000 BTU heating system, and it needs 14,000.
Wow.
Instead of 120,000, it needed 14,000 for heating, and instead of a 5-ton unit for cooling, it needed a 1 ton? Half-ton. Half-ton. He says, we don't even make the half-tons anymore.
This is just
we got to go outside the U.S. to find the half-ton models. We don't even make them that small anymore.
And this is just a home, so you can imagine the buildings, some of our large manufacturing buildings, because this technique and this process can be used for buildings of any size.
And this technique is this right here. It's real simple. There's a roof. Here's a wall. They go together right here.
Tell me they're not styrofoam.
And it is styrofoam. This is the coffee cup.
Really?
And so you've got a thermal envelope.
It's got these steel frames in there.
Now, what makes this so energy efficient?
The key to what you're looking at right here is the roof wall connection. And the insulation in the roof has to go to the exterior of the wall. If you were to stop it right here, well then, how strong is a chain? A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So if you have R50 here, and you have an R2 over here, then actually you have an R2. You don't have this R50 that a lot of the contractors here in the United States advertise and say you're getting. The only way you can find out what you've got is this document right here, which is the HERS rating. And the HERS rating goes into detail about how the house was tested for the whole wall R values, heat gain, heat loss, air infiltration, and things like that. Other than that, you're wasting your money.
How strong is this?
This is much stronger than wood, 2 or 3, 4 times stronger than wood.
Is this what makes it?
Yeah, the
combination of the styrofoam and the steel glued into it make for a very strong building material.
How expensive or inexpensive is it?
It's very affordable. I did this for affordable housing 10 years ago when this whole thing started. I knew that if the poor people could afford it here in the United States, well then the rich people could afford it. And but the way the economy's gone, there is no market now for the poor people. Only the rich people or the wealthier people are building right now. So based on what's going on in Yavapai County and so on and so forth, we've moved our technology down to Peoria, down in Phoenix with metal weld. And one of the interesting things that happened, and I don't know if Mr. Bennett even knows this yet, but we've met with the Arizona Department of Transportation, and we've taken this roof panel right now and we've put it into a sound wall. And so these sound walls that get built on I-10 and 51 and 101.
On the sides of the freeway.
On the side of the freeway. Now they can incorporate our technology, our roof panel. It'll be 25% cheaper, maybe even cheaper. It'll go up 1,000 times faster. It's more affordable. It's going to save the state of Arizona millions, if
What
not.
about sound? You just mentioned
It's
sound.
excellent for sound transmission.
And
Excellent.
not that we have one every day here, but what about earthquakes?
This is earthquake resistant. The reason I wanted to invent something and get it patented is that foam and steel are resistant to fire, water, mold, termites, rodents. It's also resistant to earthquakes and hurricanes. So it's an excellent product that's Mother Nature resistant.
Fire won't?
Anything will burn. It's fire resistant.
Okay.
Steel will burn, but it's got a Class A fire rating, and it's self-extinguishing. When fire gets next to it, and then when that fire goes away based on its fuel, it self-extinguishes.
How fast will it ignite? And the reason
It won't
I'm saying
ignite.
it won't
It doesn't
ignite.
ignite.
So we could save a lot of lives with a product like
this is perfect for Haiti. This is perfect for any country on the planet. It's perfect for the United States.
Oh, yeah, because their building codes are non-existent
Well, they
there
have-
in NATO. Yeah. But now, truly, Nolan won't like you very well if this is bug-resistant.
I tell you what, you're getting ready to hear from APS.
Okay.
Why would APS like Global Building Systems? APS is in the same. We're in the same country with the same problem. We've got to conserve energy. So APS. You know, at one time people thought, man, APS, they're not going to like you. Well, they do like us because we're working with APS to help conserve energy on buildings, and that's what APS needs.
How fast can, go ahead, Ken.
Well, every time you save energy in a building, a home, a business, or whatever, that means you can build more buildings without the APSs of the world having to build more power plants, more transmission lines, and all of that.
Okay.
They can make a good return on their investors' money. Supplying energy, but when they...
Because you have more homes to supply it to.
Right. But if they can save having to build power plants and all the transmission lines, that's a huge savings to them as well as...
And it's passed on to the
And they're
consumer.
still supplying energy to
They're still supplying energy
more
and they
people.
still make a return on their investment, but they don't have to try to keep up with huge
Demands for
infrastructure
the power,
demands.
yeah.
How fast could you build a home? 3-bedroom,
Well,
2-bath home?
we just built this house in one day here in Prescott. You're going to see a clip on it in a little while. It took us 10 hours to put the entire house, which are the outside walls, the wall panels and the roof panels together. It took us 10 hours to do it in one day. And you'll see us talking about it. You'll see that clip in a little while. It's quick, it's fast, it's affordable, it's clean, it's recyclable, it's resistant to Mother Nature. And guess what? It's affordable. That's the beauty of the whole
So
thing.
now, I'm hearing, though, that we need to bring contractors on board
Well,
with this technology.
What we do, we talk to contractors, and the contractors say, hey, I don't have anything going on here in Yavapai County.
Okay.
Or one or two of them will say, hey, I've got 3 or 4 houses we're getting ready to build. Teach us how to use your technology on these next houses. So that's what we're doing right now. We certify general contractors to use our technology. Unfortunately, with the economy, things are really, really slow here in Yavapai County.
Yeah. With all you have shared with us so far, it would seem that everybody would want to be a part of this and go this direction.
Well, they will eventually. The key is fuel. As we already know, America is the most arrogant country on the planet. Our energy here is basically free. When gas got up to $4 a gallon about 1.5 years ago, our attention was gotten. Things are going to go that direction again. Our attention is going to be gotten again, and then all of a sudden, the housing giants, even though you can still build an Energy Star rated building with wood and fiberglass, but you have to add so many other features to it, it almost becomes not affordable. And the main thing that they can't say is that it's resistant to Mother Nature, and when we can.
Isn't it amazing the extremes that the American people must see something to get their attention?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It is. People call us from all over the world, in Louisiana, and they're getting ready to build 3,000 houses in Louisiana. Mr. Beavers, we need to build one of your houses in Louisiana. I said, hey, come to Prescott. Here's the video. We've already built dozens of them, but they got to kick the tires. That's the American way.
Yeah, and Mr. Secretary of State, we've just seen that right
Yes,
here on
the
our
house
program.
being built.
And again, that took how long to build?
It took us 42 days to build the entire house, 1 day to put the entire house up.
Amazing.
Now, what size home were we looking at?
That was 1,300 square feet.
Okay.
And if it had been 2,000 square foot, it would take an extra hour. It doesn't matter.
That is truly amazing, truly amazing. You said you were talking a little bit, you wanted to talk a little bit about plant sustainability. The plant biofuels, I mean, it runs the gamut.
I just kind of developed as one of my passions after I was term limited in the state Senate. Wanted to get into energy conservation, which what attracted me to GBSI, but also alternative energy. And so I'm working with groups on energy from plants, algae, and all. Mother Nature or God or whoever you want to attribute that to.
Exactly. She put it all there for us.
It's all figured out. We just have to be open-minded enough to understand that every time a plant receives a ray of sunshine, it makes energy and stores it in its plant cells, and then we can use that instead of drilling for oil and all kinds of other things. So there's just so many opportunities that we have, whether it's solar here in Arizona or the wind, conserving the amount of energy that we use in the first place, plant to fuel, algae and all kinds of other things. Arizona happens to be one of the best places to grow algae.
Well,
See, go figure
who'da
that.
thunk it?
Yes.
James, thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Secretary of State,
Tanya, good to
thank
see you.
Great to have people working on this technology, Tanya.
When we come back, we have a